people. This is Marabelle Blue, and this is KEM Top Talk on MadhouseTV.com. I'm sorry. Let me get it together. Okay, we were goofing around before, and that's why I'm laughing. And I think it's even funnier because if you see some of my guests, some of my guests, but one of my guests, if you see the look on his face is, yeah, she's crazy. Anyway, hi, welcome. This is my man show theme, and it's unfortunate that two of the men are not here. Oh well. Monkey Bars was supposed to Skype in, but I don't know what happened. And Chuck Platinum is actually stuck in a meeting, and he let me know in advance that he may not be able to be here, so we send them our love here at KEM Top Talk. Now, of course, I've gotten into the swing of things. I have my little cards, and I'd like to start off the show, of course, with my little peanut gallery comments in regards to, you know, what happened in the week, whatever. So, of course, I must start off with The Bachelorette. Must, because this is a show that is so stupid that I watch it and I have to talk about it. Okay, this week, Emily Maynard, which is The Bachelorette, got rid of a guy named Kalen, who actually on the first episode flew into a helicopter. Now, I don't know about you, but any man who's gonna greet me the first time in a helicopter can go right the fuck home. I'm not interested. That whole glorious gander thing, I'm just not into it at all. Just be yourself. I think men go out of their way to do things, you know, like they become clowns and jugglers, and they end up losing the focus on what the goal is, and you know, it's to achieve love or whatever the case may be. Stop breathing so hard.
I'm just getting a picture in my head.
That's one of our guests. I don't know if the camera's on him, but no. So be quiet.
I'm a heavy breather.
Okay. So Emily, actually, I thought that this season of The Bachelorette was going to be very what is that word I'm looking for? Like, she's meek, you know, she's this girl from, I think, North Carolina or something like that. And she's actually, you know, very vivacious. This one guy, she found out that he had called her daughter baggage. And it's imperative to her that not only is she looking for someone, you know, to be her husband, she's looking for love. She is looking for someone who is going to be a father to her daughter. I think anybody who's a mother, I'm not a mother. You know, I think it's important for a woman who has a child that the man that she's inviting into her life is actually a sane man and, you know, will actually care for her as well as her child, which is the whole point. And it sounds like she wants to have a lot of kids too. So this guy Kalen, who flew into a helicopter first episode, was like an ass from the beginning. I think a lot of the times these people give out roses to, you know, these people that, the guys that I know that she's not going to end up being with just for television's sake. Needless to say, when she found out that he had said that her daughter was baggage, she was very shocked because this guy was actually raised by a single mother. So to be raised by a single mother and then to chastise a woman who is a single mother, I don't get it. So she told him to get the fuck out, which was pretty cool. Good for her. Next, let's see. Other guys that she got rid of somebody named Alessandro and somebody named Alejandro. Alessandro, I don't know what he was. He just seemed like all over the place, and she just walked him out the door. It's just like, you're useless, get out. That's, you know, that's the way it should be. You shouldn't have to stand and, you know, harbor and hold on to guys. It's like some women, they just hold on to guys thinking it's going to work out, something's going to happen. It's just like, you know what, if it's not happening, say goodbye. Yeah, you'll cry and you'll nurse your broken heart, but, you know, we've all come out of it. I know I have. Okay, moving right along. Ryan, I don't like this guy. He's an asshole. I said that last week. I'm saying it again. He's an asshole. He's a musclehead. He's jealous of this guy, Ari, who's the race car driver, which I think she's the one who's going to end up being with at the end. And he is very jealous because he had seen them making out a couple of episodes ago. And he's just threatened by him. But, you know, when you're a musclehead and you have really nothing else going for you but the gym, you know, of course you'd be threatened. Ari is cute. He's a race car driver. He's intelligent. And I think he would make a good husband for Emily and a good dad. Nobody wants a dumb jughead like Ryan. And he's not cute. So that's my peanut gallery as far as Ryan is concerned. Oh, yes, and I wrote down that he is threatened by intelligence. So, as if I didn't say that before. It's the same way with Bentley. When Bentley was on Ashley's season, he was thinking, oh, I wish this was Emily. I wish... He was a cute guy, but he was an asshole. Here's my thing. Just because a guy is cute, or I think he's cute, if you act like an asshole, you're an asshole. Period, the end. Okay, my final four. You should see the two guys that are sitting beside me. They're like, what? My final four that I think will be standing for the Bachelorette: Sean, Ari, Jeff, and Doug. Now, the rumor is that Chris is the one, the 25-year-old guy. He's supposed to be the fourth guy. I don't know. I'm taking a guess. But again, my prediction is that she's going to end up with Ari because he's just cute and perfect for her. Okay. So this week, I have to tell you, and I'm going to keep that brief because it's really none of your business. I went out on a date this week. Well, last Friday. And it was nice. And that's all you're going to get. And the kisses were good too. And that's all you're going to get. All right. Now, I want to give out these gift certificates. I have 3 gift certificates to give out from one of my advertisers, Chick Posh. But you have to answer these questions. And you have to call in 631-882-6900. One of the questions we gave last week was, where was Iggy Pop born? Because people assume that, what?
We changed the number.
They changed the number. What's the number?
631
631
669
669
7999
7999. And it's at the bottom of your screen. So that is the number that you should be calling in. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay. And the other question was, what day was guitarist Johnny Marr from the Smiths born? Not the year, the day. So if you can answer those questions, call in and you can win a gift certificate. And you can Google it. So it's like, you know, you could still win even if you Google the answer. And then I started a new thing, Twitter shout-outs. Because there are so many good people on Twitter that they have been twittering my talk show and, you know, everything that has been going on here. What beautiful people. It's not funny.
I was just thinking, twittering.
Nasty
Twittering.
We're going to get into the mind of a man in a few minutes. Okay. Want to give a shout out to Mama K Bear. She's awesome. Always twittering my stuff. I love her. She's fantastic. KNA_the_NYD. I love those girls. They are the best. They know I love them to death. Of course, Nelson at WTF TV. Justin the City, who was here, who left a mark on my ass, and you know, I Instagrammed it and everybody loved it. This new person now, and I really like him a lot. I think he's on Instagram as Santana1972, but he's on Twitter as that_guy ATL. Of course, Horny Devil, who never Twitters my show, but he talks about how horny he is, and I have to shout him out. And of course, my sub-slave, who has been the best slave ever, owned by M. Blue. He is just wonderful. So those are my Twitter shout-outs, and if you want to get on next week's list, then all you have to do is Twitter at KEM Top Talk. And don't forget the hashtag madhousetv.com. You have to include that in order to get shout out. Okay, now on to the show. My first guest is, go down. My first guest is Vinny from Sensual Adult Store. What should I say about you?
I don't know. What should you say about me?
Who's not a musician.
He's not a musician, no.
He's not a musician, but he is an adult toy seller, which I think, you know, maybe for some women could be unusual, because a lot of in the sale of toy industries, it's always women that are selling toys to other women. Now we're finding that a lot of people that are selling toys are men, and Vinny is doing very well on his store. So he's going to talk about his store, and he's going to talk about relationships, and you know.
You know, when you say that.
I haven't asked a question yet.
Well, I just want to say something. When you say women might find that unusual, I think most women would find that convenient.
Really?
Sure.
Please elaborate.
Well, if they're hooking up, if they're hanging out with me and they know I sell adult toys, it's convenient for them because I have access to as many adult toys as
But what
they
about the
want.
women who are not, you know, in your
I don't want to
face?
hook up with those women.
No, I'm not talking about hooking up with them. I'm talking about women, you know, online that you will never meet. Like, do they make comments about you selling toys? Do they find it
Personally?
unusual? Yeah.
They don't make comments to me personally. They make comments about the store.
Okay. Well, what's wrong with the store? There's nothing wrong with it.
They make good comments about the store.
Okay, well then that's a good thing. Now, my second guest, who is also going to be playing for us later tonight, the Sitar, is Dawoud, also known on Twitter as at RenegadeSufi. You can find him on Twitter. He is a musician because, of course, I was twittering earlier that I wanted musically inclined guys to talk about different aspects of relationship, sex, etc., etc. So these are my guests for tonight, and I'm very, very happy to have them on my show. Now, I made up some questions in regards to where are my questions? I wrote them all down. Oh, okay, here. All right. So as far as, okay, here, let me just start off from the beginning. Women have always been inquisitive about the male mind and where it goes. For you, you know, men who are not married and you know, in a relationship and maybe not in a relationship, what are the things that you look for in a woman? Like, what's the no deal bargain as far as you want to be in a relationship, but what are the requirements? Because you know how like women have requirements. What are your requirements?
You want to go first?
No.
You have to. Somebody has to go first.
All right, I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, well, one requirement, men think sexually, so the first requirement is sexual. I mean, if a woman is going to come to me and just be in a missionary position and that's all I'm ever going to get out of it, that's a closed book. I don't want anything to do with that.
Do you agree with that, Dawoud? I mean, let me just give you a little history. Let's just let the cat out of the bag.
Here we go.
Just for a brief moment. It's not like, you know, anything. Dawoud and I, we dated, and that's that. And that's all you're getting.
Cat's out of the bag.
That's all you get.
But when I first saw him, he was playing the sitar, and I was like, wow, you know, this guy is like really cool. And I made eye contact with him, and he nodded at me. So I thought that was like, you know, pretty forward, that you had acknowledged that I was there. Like, you didn't waste time, which was something that you had said when we had first met, that you're not like into all this game playing. So what is it like for you? And don't use me as an example.
No, I would never embarrass you in public or private. Or private. No.
Embarrass me.
I'll only speak for myself. You know, Vinny mentioned the idea of sexual attraction, and of course that's inevitable. I mean, we're human beings. We experience these things, and but I also look for some kind of a connection of friendship as well, because you know, speaking for myself, I am not comfortable with the idea of casual sex, at least at this point. You know, it doesn't appeal to me. It's and there's also something, you know, about a certain compatibility beyond friendship, because when there's a relationship going on, sexual and or otherwise, there has to be a sort of a harmony, a balance between unity and opposites. You know, where the people come together to two people come together to form almost a single being. In fact, I was thinking when you were talking earlier that there was something that both the Prophet Muhammad and Jimi Hendrix had said, that a woman is the other half of a man, and you know, that's what I look for.
But let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Were you always like this? Like, wasn't there a time in both of your lives, wasn't there a time where it was just solely about sex and not anything about building a relationship?
It still is.
When I was a very young man, I'll admit it. You know, in my 20s, I used to tour around with some rock bands, and I was pretty out of control in that aspect. And I don't know, maybe I just got older and wiser. And one of the things about my my own idea of relationships and sex is that, like with my music, it ties in with my spiritual beliefs. I don't see a difference between them. You know, it's almost a part of a spiritual discipline, a form of spiritual yoga or spiritual kung fu, which is also how I approach my music. And if I'm going to
feel, I'm sorry, do you feel that any relationship that has failed in the past, because you know, in music, a lot of people have risen to the top because of a broken heart, because they've channeled that energy into their music. Do you find that there's some kind of release or some kind of what is that? A healing, like a healing process, or something of that nature?
Absolutely. In fact, I remember one time I was playing at a jazz club in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and it was right after I had my heart broken, and there was one song that we played that was a ballad, and it was probably one of the best solos I took in my entire life. I just said, all right, I'm going to release it all, you know, and I had the music to do this with. And I mean, you see that with a lot of people. Not long ago, I was in a bookstore, and they were playing the song "Standing in the Doorway" by Bob Dylan, and every word just reminded me of pretty much that same woman, and I tears are coming out of my eyes. I had to leave the store. I came back and bought the CD, but it was, you know, it's all a part of a full of life. Well, it's okay. You know, I mean, I can look back at it. You know, I was thinking. You go back in there and tell the guy behind the counter I need a hug.
But then here's the opposite, because Vinny is not a musician. So you ride bikes. How do you channel your energy when something is not working out for you as far as relationships is concerned? And also, in the interim, has owning an adult store taught you anything about enhancing relationships? Do you think people are looking to incorporate toys into their relationships to make it better?
Well, I don't know, because I don't actually hang out with the people that buy toys after they've bought them, so I don't know exactly what they're using them for or who they're using them with.
Mm-hmm.
I assume some of the people that buy them want to enhance their sexual relationship, where where he was just saying that.
Were you talking about the channeling, the
right,
energy?
right.
Like,
well,
how do you
I'm
find
just
your
the
way?
opposite. I mean, I would like a structure that's a good sexual relationship before I start developing a friendship. Because, if you don't have good sex,
Mm-hmm.
then that's exactly what it is, just a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And
So in your eyes, the sexual aspect of the relationship is a major component.
sure,
It has to work for you in order for you to be in the relationship.
sure.
Do you have a belief in longevity? Do you believe
Yeah.
that, relationships are meant to last? I was talking to someone the other day. I was actually talking to a woman the other day. And she was telling me that she does not believe that two people are meant to be together forever. And this is a woman, of Islamic belief. And I'm not saying that Islamic belief you're supposed to be, because I think any religion or any kind of lifestyle, anything that you're raised with.
Divorce is permitted in Islam.
Oh, okay. Well, but the thing is that this is her belief. She doesn't believe that you are meant to be with one person forever. So, I mean, what's your opinion on that? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
You know what? I think a lot of different religions, I don't care what religion it is, when they're pushing monogamy, they're pushing it for the sake of their own religion.
Not necessarily something of an external belief.
I don't think there's any universal law that says a man can only be with one woman, and one woman can only be with one man, or a guy and a guy, a girl and a girl,
Mm-hmm.
transgender, male, female, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all a big religious dogma
Mm-hmm.
put on relationships. Personally, that's how I see it.
What's your take on it?
The way I see it is that every individual human being has their own paradigms in this. I mean, I've throughout my entire life, and I've been walking this planet for 51 years, that I've met people who they change a lot over the course of their life, and I've changed a lot over the course of my life. And in doing so, their relations and interactions with other people on whatever level also change. Yet on the other hand, I've also seen people who have, very early in their life met their quote-unquote soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
They're happy with each other, and they were together and happy together for the remainder of their lives. My mom and dad, for example, they were very happy together my dad passed away about 6 months shy of their 50th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's no real hard and fast rule. It has to be taken on an individual to individual basis, and it's something that goes beyond the external teachings of religion. You have to look deeper into things, and the most important thing is that each person has to look deep within their own self,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and know who they are and be honest with themselves in regards to their own motives.
Mm-hmm. I like this because I feel like I'm getting two different versions of what your feelings and aspects of and desires about what a relationship is. And what's funny is that neither of you are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody is an individual. So your desires are just important as your desires. It, you know, one is not greater than the other. Do you understand what I'm saying? The thing is, it's like, are your desires being met is the question. That's, you know, that's where...
You're not asking me that question.
Yeah, I'm pleading the fifth.
Yeah, me too. I'm not.
Now they're going to be quiet. What the fuck? You
Well,
can't be quiet now. That's the, I mean, that's the whole point. That's the idea of all relationships is everybody desires being met. Now you can talk about in a personal level, or you can talk about in a general level. You can even share experiences of other people and what you thought about it. Now, I know you know other people. Since they're not going to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
You want me to answer the
Look,
question?
I'll throw something out there. I'll say,
show.
yeah, I can only, I can only speak for myself, but from what I see, what I perceive, life is a work in progress. It's not finished. It's one time Frank Zappa, they asked him what did you want to be when you grew up? He says, I haven't finished growing up, and none of us have. None of us have. We don't stop until we're dead, and I'll go out a little bit.
Please, he doesn't want to piss off his girlfriend. You hear the spin.
I ain't even admitting of it.
You're putting a spin on it.
Well, maybe
I
I do. Maybe I don't.
At least I'm not gonna. At least I'm saying, you know what? I'm not even gonna say a fucking word about it. Who wants to go home and listen to that crap?
Yeah, and I'm the one that's sitting here BSing for minutes on it. But all right. But
then why would any man tolerate that in the first place? Continue your thought.
Why would we tolerate it? Because we're crazy. And
or maybe the sex is really good.
No, that's true. That's true. It's
maybe it once was good.
Yeah, but that that gets tired. That gets tired after a while. I mean, you get worn out and limp after a while.
I'll tell you why a man will tolerate it for so long. A man tolerates it because a man keeps hoping that the person he met will suddenly emerge from the person that their mate has become. And rarely does that happen. The person changes, and it just doesn't happen. And you sit around waiting for this person who you used to know in a totally different way to be what they were when you met them.
Right.
And it just doesn't happen. And it's
Well,
just a matter of how long you're going to wait.
Right, exactly. Well, we're going to get into that more
After
this commercial break because there's some deep thought going on over here. So we'll be right back. This is KEM Top Talk on MadhouseTV.com. Hello. Sorry, we were still talking.
The best stuff gets said off.
I know.
I know.
It's like you miss the fun while there's a commercial going on. So we're back. I'm Marabelle Blue, and this is Vinny, who owns Adult Sensual Toy Store, and Dawoud, RenegadeSufi on Twitter, who will be playing. What?
You said it wrong.
What do you mean I said it wrong?
You said it wrong.
I said your store wrong?
Yes.
Sensuals.
Adult Store? You don't even know the name of it. I know the name of all your websites.
I'm sorry.
I'm insulted. I'm really insulted.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to be on the Marabelle Blue show anymore.
Don't do that.
It's like I don't even know what to say. Sensuals Adult
Store. It's difficult.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fuck it up, for real. Okay, so I was asking them a question. See, I was prepping them in advance because they were yelling at me. They're like, oh, you wasn't supposed to ask those questions. But see, that's the whole point of me doing what I'm doing, so that we can get inside of the mind of a man, not inside the man. Anyway, on the 30th, I need to say, there's not going to be a show next week because I can't say it because then I'll ruin the surprise. But anyway, on the 30th, it's going to be the flip side. It's going to be a woman show, and we're going to have 3 different women here who are going to be discussing the aspects of courtesan coaching, social media, and life coaching. And then we are going to have a musical guest that was actually here before, but I'll get into that later. Anyway, the question is, why are women today more superior with their choices? Is it based on bitterness, or the fact we are women taking more control of our lives? And how does that make you feel, or how does that affect you? That's what we were talking about. And Vinny started to answer the question before we came on.
I was making a joke. And the joke was because they have society to protect them. They can say whatever they want and not be worried about getting beat up. That was a joke. I've been watching a lot of Spartacus lately. Oh. And in Roman times, they just would
say things, and the husbands would just beat the hell out of them. Well, that's not a good thing.
No.
I didn't laugh. You didn't hear me laugh.
I know I didn't hear you laugh.
Because you can imagine the days back then.
Why do I think that? Because now women have a chance to actually be who they are and not have to worry about what the men are going to say.
But don't you think, I'm sorry, before you even answer this, I need to get this question out. Don't you think that me as a woman, okay, when I first came onto the dating scene, I broke up with my ex-boyfriend in 2000. 2000, my life completely changed. And I had all of these qualifications about dating. They had to be a certain height. Like the physical attributes, they had to be a certain height. You know, they had to be a certain race. I don't mean to be racist, but, you know, I like white boys. That's what I like. That's my strongest preference. And, you know, there were all these other physical attributes that I looked for in a man. Now, things are a little different for me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am dating somebody now, and yes, he is white. That's not going to change. But, you know, as far as like the physical aspects is concerned, it's irrelevant because his personality is what shines more to me than anything else. So my point is that aren't women robbing themselves if they put too much confinement or constrictions to their preferences and not budging from that? I mean,
men do the same thing. You know, we look at women and say, yeah, that's a woman I would love to get. But the first thing a guy, I don't care what anybody says, the first thing a guy says to himself when he looks at a beautiful woman is, yeah, I'd like to get her in bed. Mm-hmm. And that's just the way it is. Any guy that says that's not the case is full of shit. Because it's true. Because
I'm gathering that Dawoud is agreeing too.
You know, men are hunters, and men like to go out and they like to find a girl. They know what they want in a woman, and they know what they want that woman for. Mm-hmm. Where women are actually more willing to settle for qualities that they're not looking for in order to get qualities that they want more out of a guy. All right, so the guy has a great job, he's a great provider. You know, they'll be willing to take that guy and have a relationship with him even though he's ugly as hell, and they're not attracted to him at all. They're willing to take that sacrifice when most men would be like, I don't think so.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because earlier today I was having a conversation with someone about a man who used to own a supermarket around where I live at, and his underarms stank like really bad. I see Tom over there going, I mean, it was like something awful. And he was seeing this girl that worked there, you know, she was a cashier, but she, you know, she was fucking him. And she got jealous when I started working there because she had noticed that he started to pay attention to me. But my whole thing was that you stink. So why would I be interested? It's like he had a lot of money. I was saying he had bought a car, and inside the interior of the car was fur. I cannot. I don't care how much money you have. If you stink, I am not going out with you. That is the bottom line. I just won't.
Couldn't you wash them?
I don't care. It's like, if you stink, forget it. Not. I mean, it's the same way with like fingernails. If like fingernails are like dirty,
and that's where you differ from a guy, because a guy, even though he'll be in bed with a woman, she'd be like, oh my God, she's stinking. All right, let me finish. Let me just finish here. That's what a guy will do.
Dawoud, your thoughts?
It's true. Come on.
I know. Okay, I'm cool. Hard to add anything to that, because it's. I guess that the only thing that I would have to add to that is that you know, if people, you know, put themselves through that, it's probably because they don't know themselves and they don't know what they really want. Now, Vinny brought up a very good point about the nature of men. Mm-hmm. You know, the primordial nature of the physical / animal aspect of mm-hmm. the male of this species.
Yes.
And you know, it is what it is. You know, and one of the, you know, I'm speaking in generalities, but one of the main differences between men and women is that men want power and freedom, and women want love and security. Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, again, generalities. There's always variations of that, and one of the main differences between another main difference between men and women is that women generally process their thoughts and emotions externally, mm-hmm. and work their will internally, mm-hmm. and men do it the opposite. We process our thoughts and emotions internally and work our wills externally. And once we find, you know, we come, yeah, I mean, once you come to grips with that, and then you know, and make your peace with that, and then start to you know, understand who you really are mm-hmm. as a person, then you will understand what it is that you're looking for, and stop deluding ourselves. And I'm guilty of it too, I gotta admit. But you know, human beings have a genius for lying to themselves and believing every word of it. Mm-hmm. And you know, once we stop that, we finally realize, hey, you know, this is what I'm really looking for. And like you said, you know, about the women, you know, that have, you know, this or that, and of course men are the same way, and I'm no different. But you know, once we you know, we realize that you know, how to deal with a certain flexibility of bringing another being mm-hmm. into the sphere of our own lives, mm-hmm. and then, you know, interacting right. on whatever level, mm-hmm. then it works right. on whatever level it is. And Vinny had also brought up a good point about how people change. Mm-hmm.
That's
over
right.
the years. Yeah,
that's right.
You know, I've seen it, and it's you know, being aware of that, mm-hmm. being aware of that, and the only thing I could add to that is that sometimes when we see somebody that, you know, we're enamored with, you know, we create an image yes. of this person. We convince ourselves that this is who that person mm-hmm. is, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And exactly. And we base you know, how we approach that whole relationship on that image, right. And it was a delusion to begin with. Mm-hmm. And in the end, it's a disaster waiting to happen, and it doesn't matter how good the sex is. It's not going to last.
Well, on that note, I mean, this is a very deep discussion, and I wish we can go on all night, but we can't. So after this commercial break, Dawoud is going to play the sitar for us. How exciting is that? And I love it. He plays great music. You're going to enjoy it. We'll be right back. This is KEM Top Talk on Madhouse TV. Welcome back. This is KEM Top Talk on Madhouse TV. And I'm Marabelle Blue. And now, Dawoud, RenegadeSufi, to play for us. sorry, I was mesmerized. Are we closing? Is this it, or are we doing another commercial, or what are we doing?
A short one. Okay.
We're gonna do another song.
Yeah,
Yay!
Marabelle,
Yes.
this is a 700-year-old love song.
Oh wow.
It was written in India by a man named Amir Khusro 700 years ago.
Nice. Hello. Wow. Thank you. That was beautiful. Now, what do we do? This is it. We're going to wrap up the show. I want to thank Dawoud, and you can follow him on Twitter at RenegadeSufi. That's S-U-F as in Frank, I. And you can follow Vinny over here at Sensuals Adult Store. Well, I'm always twittering him as he's always twittering me. We're coming back on the 30th, and we're going to have Yolanda Shoshi, Ms. Versatile, and life coach Crystal on the show on the 30th. It's going to be a female panel, and as well as a musical guest that is escaping me right now for the top of my head. I apologize, but I'll be twittering it. And thank you for watching, and we'll be back on June 30th. This is Marabelle Blue signing off. KEM Top Talk on MadhouseTV.com. Bye.